The government of Ontario has decided to reopen all the schools starting next month. The date being when students usually come back to school after a summer break. The schools have been closed for almost the entire year because of coronavirus. The children have all missed, every student in the country has missed an entire grade of school. I don't know if this has ever happened in the history of the nation before, but somehow these kids are going to have to catch up. I don't know if they're going to be all held back or whether or not they will just have to be thrown into a next grade or whatever is going to happen. But they have to be caught up because I can guarantee you that not all the children were working while they were off. I mean, that's just not going to be happening. But there are a lot of criteria that the government is trying to impose on these children, and I have a duty to inform you of what's going on and what rights you have. So, the first thing that the government says is that all students who enter the school building will have to be screened. They'll have to have their temperature taken. Um, that's just that's just something that they say is necessary. Okay. The second thing is it only says adapted school environments. Now, I don't know what that means. I mean, adapted school environments could mean a number of things. And I really don't like it when the government is that vague because when they are that vague, it could mean that a ton of familiarities or freedoms or rights are just going to be thrown out the window. And because it's kids we're talking about, they feel that they can get away with it much easier. So it could mean anything from no more recess, it could mean no more gyms, it could mean no more eating in the cafeteria, it could mean being chained to your school desk. I mean, all of those things are adapted school environments. And that's all they put. The next thing they say is hand hygiene. So there'll be hand sanitizers all over the place. There will be no cohorting. So they're expecting all of our children to stay away from each other, don't talk to each other, just pretend like you are on a busy London subway where you don't know anybody and nobody talks to anybody. That's just pretend that's where you are. Pretend you are on the TTC at rush hour. Don't speak to anybody. And if you speak to anybody, if you aren't socially distant, which is another thing they're trying to impose, who knows what they'll do to our kids? They'll put them in detention. I don't know. Maybe they might start beating them again with the ruler like they used to do back in the day. I don't know. I mean, with this thing that's going on and with all the control freaks that are out there, I mean, these guys are so crazy that they just might bring out the cane again. I'm telling you. And they can do it. Who's going to stop them if they do it? I mean, who's going to stop them? Already in India, people are literally being killed on the streets. I mean, yeah, you could say, well, this is India, but I mean, whoever thought that, this life that we're living in now would ever come to pass? So those are the criteria. But the biggest thing that really stuck out to me is they are wanting our kids, they're forcing our kids to wear masks for the entire day. Don't you dare even take it off a little bit. Just keep the mask on for 8 hours in the day. That is what they are telling our children to do. And you already know what my view is on that. You already know what I'm thinking. I don't need to explain it to you. But what the thing that I want to do is to inform the young people, and not only the young people, but their parents, those who still care about knowing what your rights are, those who are interested in knowing what you can and can't do, who want to know the full story, who know that the mainstream media isn't going to give you the full story, and if they do, it's going to be told to you in a way that suits them. I am telling you that if you do not want to wear a mask for 8 hours in a school day, sitting at your desk, reading, writing, and doing arithmetic while having a mask on. If you do not want to wear that, you don't have to. Take it from me. Arana Nation, I have not told you one word of a lie in the, 12 years now that I have been on YouTube. I haven't told you one word of a lie. Everything I have told you has come because it is true, or from what I have heard and have not confirmed, or I've tried not to confirm, but if I didn't know it for sure, I said this is what I hear is happening, what I feel might be happening. I don't confirm it, but this is what you should be prepared for. I haven't deliberately lied to you, not once. Not once. I have changed my positions from time to time, which is a very rare thing for me to do, but I have not lied. And it says here in black and white, I could not believe it, that they expect children from grade 4 all the way to graduating year to wear a mask for the entire day. That is ridiculous. But I told you, you don't have to do it. And I'll tell you why you don't have to do it. Because every single one of these pro-mask bylaws that have come in throughout the province all state clearly that if you have a medical condition, you do not have to wear a mask. That's what it says. I mean, even these people can't be so beastly to expect people to wear a mask when they literally cannot. So if you don't want to wear a mask, whether you have a medical condition or not, you don't have to. Because get this, they don't have the right to ask you to prove what your medical condition is, and they also don't have the right to ask you what that medical condition is. If you say, I have a medical condition, I cannot wear a mask all day, that's the answer. That's it. That's it. Put a period in it. They can't do anything else. They can't force you to wear it. Now, what they may try to do is prevent you from coming to school. And all I would say to that, if they try to prevent you from going to school and getting an education in the province of Ontario and the nation of Canada, you just say to them, are you saying that because of my medical condition, you are preventing me from getting an education? There is nothing else that they will be able to say but yes or no. They may say it in a convoluted way to make themselves look better, like, no, we're stopping you because you won't wear a mask. You are saying to them that you have a medical condition. Every bylaw says that if you have a medical condition, you are not to be forced to wear a mask. There are people who faint. There are people who pass out. I gave you the story, a confirmed story of an old woman in the Ottawa area who, when she was being tested for bronchitis or whatever it was, and this is before coronavirus, she literally fell down because she was wearing a mask for too long. That can happen. You know, I am so sick and tired. And you hear these people, and I'm telling you, do not get gaslit into wearing a mask. They have started manipulating. They want to emotionally blackmail you. They want to emotionally gaslight us. One of their techniques is, oh, if you don't wear it, you are a pussy. You are a, you've got doctors and nurses who wear them all the time. People are going to learn one day that one size doesn't fit all. Just like, I mean, one side, you cannot say that this one thing is good for everybody. No one thing is good for everybody. There is not one, there are literally people out there who are allergic to water. So not one thing of anything on this planet or off this planet is good for everyone. Except maybe oxygen. That could be the only thing. And even that, you've got plants that can't take oxygen. So for living creatures on this planet, not one thing of everything on this planet doesn't work for every living creature on the planet. That's just not going to work. So you can't tell me that this mask, everybody must wear it, everybody has to wear it, it's good for everybody, and nobody's going to get hurt. Just like when they try to say this vaccine is good for everyone must be forced to wear it, nothing is going to happen to you. The world doesn't work like that, especially with medication. especially with medication. Medicine? But anyway, I'm going off topic. Bottom line is, if you feel that you don't want to wear a mask, if you are like me, who literally is fact that saying to me that a mask will protect me from coronavirus is similar to building a chain link fence around my house to keep houseflies out. That is, if you believe that to be as fact, which it's not a belief, it's just fact. It's plain fact. It's like saying the sky is blue. The mask will not protect you and make you impenetrable to coronavirus. It's not necessary. It's not. And they said it too. The medical establishment, they said that from the beginning. Where this thing came from, it's just another control thing. It's another means of control. If you believe that, then for the sake of our children and for the sake of our freedom, do not just go along with this. You have rights in the province of Ontario and outside as well. I can tell you safely that all of the mask laws in Ontario, the province of Ontario, the Canadian province of Ontario, where I am, Toronto, Mississauga, Oshawa, Durham region, Niagara region, Peel region, up north, the Nickel Belt, the Ottawa Gatineau region, Hamilton Wentworth region, all parts of this beautiful province of ours. When they are forcing people to wear masks, if you have a medical condition, you are not to be forced to wear a mask. That is just barbarism. That's like saying everybody must be forced to drink hot pepper sauce, even if you're allergic to it. Not even Hitler himself would do that. Not even Hitler would do it. Not even Saddam Hussein would do it. Not even Kim Jong-un would. You can think of even the devil himself wouldn't do that. So this is my message to the children and to your parents, or both, or one or the other, because to be perfectly honest, we are at a point where, if the children are going to be smarter than the parents, if the children are more concerned about their free, this is almost to a point where, look, if the government is telling us to do something that is harmful to us, and our parents want us to do it, we have to say no. We have to. I'm all for obeying parents and honor thy father and thy mother and all this stuff. But this is one of those rare occasions where I would advocate, if the children feel that this is harmful to them mentally and physically, you say, Father, mother, I cannot do this. I will not do this. That would be similar to the children of Nazi Germany standing up to their parents saying, no, I will not join the Hitler Youth. No, I will not work for people who kill, murder, slaughter Jews. I will not do it. I will not do it. Though this is one of those occasions. And even if you don't have a medical condition, we really need to we need to include ourselves in the history books when they are written, that I stood up to a tyrannical, dictatorial, control freakery government that forced me to wear a burqa-looking face mask, which has no purpose whatsoever, disregarding the fact that I had a medical condition or not. I don't have it, but I feel this is not necessary. This is completely against everything that I stand for. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Now, if you want to do it, that you can go ahead. But those who don't want to do it, don't think that this piece of paper here of dictations from this government, this useless government, federal and provincial, don't let that scare you into submission. If you don't want to wear it, you don't have to. Take it from me. You have rights. Just tell them you have a medical condition. They can't question you about it. They can't ask you to prove it. If you don't have a medical condition, tell them you have a medical condition anyway. Lie to them. Tell them you have a medical condition anyway. Tell them that. Tell them that. They cannot divulge, ask for your medical information. Just don't do it. Just do not do it. And if they try to stop you, well, then you can tell them, so are you saying that you are preventing me from getting an education in the province of Ontario and the nation of Canada because of my medical condition, which prevents me from wearing a mask? They will have nothing to say else to say but yes or no. And again, they may say it in a way that makes them look better, but at the end of the day, it's either yes or no. Yes, we are stopping you from getting an education because of your medical condition, which prevents you from wearing our useless mask, or no, we won't do it. We've seen the light. Come on in and get that education that you have the right to as a free, so far, a free in constitutional name citizen of a Western nation. So that's what I have to say on this. This government is playing with hellfire with me. They are going to make hell hot in here. I have totally given up on Doug Ford. It really breaks my heart to do this, but he has completely lost my trust. I have lost all faith in him. It's over. I won't. I am a stonk down independent at this point. Don't call me. Don't do anything. I won't. I won't do it. It's really a shame. It really, really, really is. But we do have rights. And if we stick together and if we stick to our guns, we can fight this. And guess what? We are winning the information war. I will concede that there are more people who are feeding into the lies and who are sheeping out than are not. But more and more people are beginning to see the light. More and more and more and more and more. We are winning slowly, slowly. We have to be patient. We have to understand that compared to the mainstream media, compared to the medical tyranny, compared to the politicians, our voice is relatively small. But if we're patient and we continue pounding the pavement and we continue beating the drums of common sense, we will prevail. For those of you who think that I'm just talking complete rubbish about this, let me tell you again that this coronavirus that everybody has been talking about has killed people, yes, but it has killed less than 1% of the population who have gotten the coronavirus. Less than 1% of people who have gotten coronavirus have died from it. Less than 1%. Are you following me here? Including people with pre-existing conditions and people who are old. Less than 1% of people who are of the over 60s, including those with pre-existing conditions, have died. Less than 1%. Despite the fact that they say that if you have a pre-existing condition and you get coronavirus, you are just doomed. It's over. That's not the truth. Less than 1% of people with pre-existing condition, but the flu has killed way more. Now, Sweden, which didn't have any lockdown and which didn't have any mask policies, when it was really bad, their numbers are dropping in comparison to the rest of the world. Are you following me now? And it gets better. Japan, a nation with a huge population, one of the biggest populations in the world, but at the same time with a landmass the size of California, which is small compared to a country. They also didn't have lockdowns or coronavirus restrictions, and their population is doing just fine. Soaring, it's booming. Japan, that's the place to be right now. And let me tell you something. Japan is not a place that you can socially distance from. You can have all the laws you want. You can have all the arrows on the floor you want. You can have all the lines on the pavement you want. You cannot socially distance yourself in Japan. If you rely on public transit in Japan, I don't care what law any prime minister, president, or king or emperor has to put it, you aren't going to be able to socially distance yourself. Just won't happen. So The facts are on our side, 100%. For those of us who feel that this virus, which is real and does kill, just like the flu, just like the cold, just like walking downstairs can kill you if you don't walk down the stairs properly, just like going to the mailbox if you live in a bad neighborhood can kill you. I mean, just like pretty much anything, even a chapter book can kill you. This thing kills. And yes, it does kill pretty aggressively. But for those who are using this virus to literally strip us clean of all our familiarities, of all our freedoms, of all our liberties, where we are just 24/7 walking on eggshells from the moment we leave our house, those people ought to burn in hell. And I mean it. And that's why I have come to the conclusion, and I don't have proof of it, but just like the guy who said that hand washing was an appropriate way to clean germs, and he proved to be right, even though he didn't have any proof of it until other people found the proof. I don't have the proof, but I feel that the coronavirus was man made for a number of different reasons. To stop the rise in revolutionary populism around the world, both left and right, in Hong Kong and in France and in America and the United Kingdom, in South Africa, I mean, all over, Brazil, all over. That's one reason. Another reason is for Big Pharma to make money, to make a vaccine which will be forced on everybody. If you don't take the vaccine, you would be thrown into a concentration camp of some sort, or if you're in America, a FEMA prison or jail or some kind of penitentiary. I don't know. But you will be forced, and if you don't take it, you won't go to school, you can't work, you can, just like how with the mask, if you don't wear the mask, you can't do anything. And of course, if you have a medical condition, you don't have to wear the mask. The businesses can still kick you out, but all you have to do is say, well, you're kicking me out because of my medical condition. You know? I was at the bank the other day. They didn't kick me out. I said I had a medical condition. The woman is trying to give me some look like as if she's scaring me. But I just walk right. I say, I have a medical condition. I walk right past her. She's trying to give me a look like she think I'm afraid of her. Give me a break. People like that, you don't scare me in the least. You should be scared of me because someone like me, you could tell me that somebody is going to come and get me with a AK-47, and I will look at the facts. I'm not just going to believe you just because you have a suit and tie on, which makes me even more dangerous because I'm not easily controlled. Nobody can be afraid of somebody who is easily influenced by the media and by the politicians and by the medical establishment, which this lady was. Trying to give me some look like as if she's some kind of whatever. I just walk right past her, get my money into the bank, and go on about my business. And I could still hear her puffing and puffing about my medical. She knew I didn't have it, but she couldn't question me about it. It's a lie. It even said so right there on the door. But going back to my theory of the coronavirus, I think it was man-made for Big Pharma to make money, for China to become the lone superpower in the world, to stop the rise of revolutionary populism. Those are some of the main reasons why coronavirus was created, in my view. But to wrap up, you children in Ontario, don't let me hear of anybody who doesn't want to wear a mask wearing a mask, because that means you've sold out. You're just as bad, you're just as wicked and evil and hellbound as all those people who are using this virus to take away our freedoms, and those people who have fallen for all the hype. You're just as bad. because you know you have rights. I've told you about the rights, and you disregard it anyway. You tell whoever is in charge, the principal, the teacher, you have a medical condition, and you cannot and you will not wear something that will jeopardize your health, whether you have it or not. If you feel that this does not make sense, and you're not going to let the government get away with just passing things with no facts whatsoever, just because the medical establishment says it's correct. They're just going to pass this and be done with it, and who cares about any opposing views? You're not going to let them get away with it. You don't wear that mask when you're going to school. You young man, you young lady can be one of the storm the soldiers of this pandemic fight, this war, which I have declared on the medical establishment, on the mainstream media, on the politicians, on all of them, left and right. It's funny that children are going to school. They say this virus is so dangerous, but children are going to school. But every time you watch politicians and you watch parliamentary procedures, or you even watch the interrogating that Justin the Tack-Headed Tarface Swiftfoot Mac Daddy Trudeau got when he was questioned in Parliament for his stealing from children's charities, all of it's done by virtual computer cameras. So the children are out there to fight a so-called deadly, world-ending virus. But the grown men and women who are so-called our leaders are sitting comfortably in their homes with their underwear on, conducting the business of the nation behind the lens of a camera. That's how serious this is. This is the Arana Nation.